Hello there, I'm Mr. Vlad and I play way too much Tetris. I've also recently found out that I suck ass at chess, which isn't news to me, but holy fuck do I suck. Moving on, today's video is a little how-to guide to playing Warframe using only your melee weapon. It's intended for newer players, but I think I might even say some useful stuff to people that have been playing the game for a while. Well, let's get started then. First things first, if you're going to play melee only, I would recommend equipping your melee weapon instead of using quick melee attacks. You do this by pressing and holding your F button on your keyboard. This will let you do two things to improve your melee-only gameplay. It will let you channel energy into your weapon, which you do by holding down your left mouse button while you're wielding your melee weapon. This adds damage to your melee attacks, but it drains your energy, so it's not indefinitely sustainable. So keep that in mind. The other thing you can do while wielding your melee weapon is block. You do this by pressing and holding the right mouse button. This can save your ass big time, as you can see from the video. Keep in mind that each time you block an attack, it drains a bit of your stamina, so you can't do this indefinitely. Which brings us to the next part of this little guide, managing your stamina. Usually, running out of stamina isn't that much of a problem, it just means you have to stop sprinting and jumping all over the damn place. But when you play melee only, it means you lose out on your mobility and your ability to even hit someone. That's right, melee weapons use a bit of stamina each time you strike with them. Different weapons require different amounts of stamina, but there isn't much of a difference overall. So how do you manage your stamina as a resource? It's fairly simple. Pace yourself. If you see a bunch of enemies, take a look at your stamina bar, the green one under your health and shields. If it's low, wait a bit and then try to run in and clear it up. If the fight is prolonged, try not to sprint around or jump around too much, because that uses up your stamina. But here's the best piece of advice that I can give you. Don't be an idiot. This may seem like life tips with Mr. Vlad, but seriously, don't be a moron. If you intentionally run into a room with more enemies than you can handle, you will get your ass beaten worse than when you broke your mom's favorite set of wine glasses. Something else you need to take into consideration is how effective your weapon is against a particular enemy. If your weapon primarily does impact damage, it will be really damn good against Corpus, but if it does primarily puncture damage, it'll do great against Grineer enemies. Now some general quick tips. Don't fight enemies on stairs. It'll most likely lead to you swinging like a madman while the enemy shoots you in the face. If you have to, run in and out of fights to regain stamina and recharge shields. You can't be a badass if you're dead. That's just about everything I have to say regarding melee only. Hopefully this little guide was useful to you. If it was, I'd ask you to leave a like on the video. It takes a second of your time, but helps me out a shit ton. That's all from me today. Mr. Vlad is taking a hike.